We lived in a one-room rundown shack on the outskirts of New Orleans. We didn't have money for food or rent, to say the least. We were hard-pressed, and Mama spent every last penny we had to buy me a dancing dress. Mama washed and combed and curled my hair, then she painted my eyes and lips. Then I stepped into a satin dancing dress, had a split on the side clean up to my hip. It was red velvet trim and it had fit me good. Standing back from the looking glass, there stood a woman where a half-grown kid had stood. She said, "Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down." She said, "Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down." Mama dabbed a little bit of perfume on my neck, then she kissed my cheek. Then I saw the tears welling up in her troubled eyes as she started to speak. She looked at a pitiful shack, and then she looked at me and took a ragged breath. She said, "Your pa's runned off and I'm real sick, and the baby's gonna starve to death." She handed me a heart-shaped locket that said, "To thine own self be true." And I shivered as I watched a roach crawl across the toe of my high-heel shoe. It sounded like somebody else who was talking, asking, "Mama, what do I do?" She said, "Just be nice to the gentleman, fancy. They'll be nice to you. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you want out, well, it's up to you. Don't let me down now, your mama's gonna move you uptown." Well, that was the last time I saw my mama, the night I left that rickety shack. The welfare people came and took the baby. Mama died and I ain't been back. Well, the wheels of fate had started to turn, and for me there was no way out. It wasn't very long till I knew exactly what my mom had been talking about. I knew what I had to do, and I made myself this solemn vow that I was gonna be a lady someday, though I didn't know when or how. But I couldn't see spending the rest of